So, Julie, what's the show today?
Today we're talking about the 4 common obstacles to meditation.
I remember we did Help I Can't Meditate, and there's still more? Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Julie.
And together we're 324 Weekly TV, your source for news, reviews, and tips you can use about mindfulness and meditation.
So we're going to talk about common obstacles to meditation today, and the first one we're going to talk about is time. So everyone says, I don't have time. I have no time to meditate. So there's a couple of things that people can do about that. One is to
Make time.
Make time.
You make time to go to the liquor store.
The liquor store.
Well, people do. Lots of people make time to go to the liquor store. I smokes. How do you make time in your schedule?
Well, I think there's 2 things. You can set a time that you sit every day, or you sit once a week, or part of the thing I think is making a commitment. You know, this is the time that I'm going to spend, whether it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, once a day, once a week, once a month, something that I can return to. But another thing is actually practicing on the go.
Throughout the day.
When I'm doing the dishes,
Yeah.
I try and stop just for a moment before or in the middle.
Or during washing
Or
the
during
dishes.
washing
The
the dishes.
actual exercise of washing the dishes themselves can be quite mindful. There's the other, you're at work. There's lots of opportunities to take a mindful pause. And a mindful pause is 2-3 breaths. And that's perhaps before you pick up the phone and make that phone call that you need to make, or before you answer that email.
So the second obstacle is space. I would always choose to sit in a place that's quiet and still. That doesn't mean that
And
there's
safe.
and safe. It doesn't mean that there's not moments where I could be on a subway platform and something in me could become aware of my breathing and as Andrew says, take a quiet pause. For me, that's a really wonderful and valuable thing. But for actually meditating, if you're wanting to take a real break, more than 15 seconds or 30 seconds of just sort of returning to your breath, I think it's really important to create a space. And one of the things that people are doing is creating spaces in their homes and in their office places and in their cottages and retreats, and they're actually creating spaces
And how elaborate does that have to be? If you're starting out, you're somebody new, or even me, I don't have an elaborate permanent space. I have my own cushions and that I pull out. I live in a small apartment. So it doesn't need, I guess my point is, it doesn't need to be elaborate, but there are people that dedicate entire rooms of their home that are to meditation rooms.
Yeah, meditation and yoga. I think sometimes people do that as well. So no, I don't think anything has to be elaborate, but it sort of leads to our third point. The third obstacle has to do with comfort. This is an obstacle for a lot of people, and a lot of people say, I can't meditate because I can't sit on the floor.
Right. And then it stops them.
And
it becomes, I can't do this.
Or I'm in pain and my body's not going to do it.
I'm in pain, and do I have to be in pain when I meditate? Well, no. That's not the idea. I can barely get down on the floor, let alone get into a lotus position.
Exactly, and that's the case with most people in North America and Europe. Our lifestyles are different. We sit in chairs a lot, and we are at desks all day long. People spend a lot of time at the gym, so their muscles are tight, but they're not necessarily flexible. So those are all good things to know, because the important thing about sitting comfortably is that you can sit naturally with a straight spine and not feel stressed or forced or painful. We're encouraging people to find props and different things to help them sit comfortably to be able to do my practice. And for some people, that's going to be a walking practice. For some people, chairs or floors is never going to be the thing, right?
Right. Fourth one.
The fourth one is teacher, guide. So a lot of people are searching as to how to begin. So some people are saying, do I need a teacher? Do I need to belong to a community? Or I'm not spiritual, I don't want to join a spiritual community. There's so many different options. Right?
So many choices.
There's so many choices.
Yeah, and we're going to do a segment really kind of talking about finding teachers online, offline, that sort of thing in a upcoming video, because it is a big giant experiment. The whole in finding your way is part of the big giant experiment.
Yeah, I think that another thing I would add to that is to learn to start, trusting yourself or trusting something in yourself. That if I'm sitting with a community and it feels good, then to continue. If I've found an app, I love it, it's what really helps me, then go with that. If I go somewhere and it doesn't correspond with something in me, I've got doubts about it, don't fret about that. Trust yourself. I think trust is the beginning of the process, right? So beginning to find something in yourself that you can trust to make that decision. So it's not fixed in stone either.
Yep.
So you can start one way and then just keep evolving because it's that's how it is, I think.
Yep.
So so that's four things: finding the time, the space, comfort, and a guide, whatever that is. We say they're obstacles, but they're also the pathway. Like they're also
opportunities.
They're also opportunities to find something that might support you well.
So with that, I'm Andrew.
I'm Julie.
And this is 324 Weekly. And if you like our show, please subscribe. And we hope to see you again soon.
Bye.
I could mess up my hair for my date. Okay.